Hey, I know I pointed out part of the Trello before, so this will be shorter, and I'll just go through how we're using this briefly. We are modeling after Scrum and Kanban, which are our agile development processes, but we're not going to stick to either one of them for reasons I mentioned before. We're just not ready for it. But we have our backlog, to do, doing, and done, which will be things that we want to do that are it's not quite time to work on them, or we haven't communicated and done the planning for them. That's the backlog. The to-do is what we have established as what we're working on during this development cycle. So I'm more familiar with Scrum. This would be our sprint. Our current sprint is this is what we're trying to achieve. This is what I've put together for our release sprint, which will be ending on Monday. And as a person is working on them, we don't want more than 1 to 2 tasks in the doing category at once for any one member. And I have obviously right now broken this thing because the way that we do it is, you can see that I'm attached to this card as a member. I was going to update the attribution page, so I assigned myself. I'll show you on a blank one. I can join the card, which I did on this one. So I would join it, and then when I'm ready to work on it, join it, then move it over to doing. So I clearly broke this process, and it's not strictly held at all. So whatever doesn't work for you and does work for you with this, run with it. And if there are problems, then we'll talk about making it so it works with everyone. But it's really just for your benefit and for the team's benefit to be able to see what's going on, but for your benefit also to get some experience with agile development in the team setting, because any member has access to this. If you don't, I'll have to invite you through here. But I was working on this attribution thing, and I've got a little blank card here for like a dev plan that I would use to create a checklist of how I would go about creating this, and I would just tab back and forth between Unreal and wherever else I'm developing it, make comments. If I had trouble or I see someone else had an issue, like with this one, someone else was working on this checkpoint, I made a comment about it because it is actually still here, but it needs to be moved over to done because it isn't a complete task, but it wasn't completed within kind of the guidelines of 3 hours per task is a general rule of thumb. And so what we are waiting on with this one, we will put into another task. Move this over to done, which I haven't done because I'd like for them to do it. Move it to done, create a follow-up task in the backlog, not to do because it wouldn't have been something agreed upon. And that's not even a hard rule. Like if they say, I didn't finish that one, but I'm still planning on getting it done within the cycle, create a follow-up task, it's fine. Just a general rule of thumb. So I was working on this attribution. I did this before, and I am done with it. So I will move that over to the done category. Eventually, these should be organized from most important to least important as you go down the list. But for now, just moving them across. I am skipping a list here that would be ready for review. So I created this thing. I finished it. I made a pull request. I would put it into ready for review with a more typical structure, and someone else would see that and say, okay, I'll go review it. But I am using GitHub to direct people for those reviews, because when you create a pull request, it notifies the Discord, it notifies anyone following the repository, and I can also request specific people who are members on this group to review it if I know that they are tech savvy, or if I know they're available, or if I've talked to them about this for whatever reason. So everyone will get it, and I can specifically ask people as well. So I had another one here, and again, we don't want to do more than 1 or 2 at a time. This miscellaneous fixes, it looks like I am not done with this one, but it ought to be at least in the doing category. So clearly, we're not sticking to this well enough that I'm even following it correctly, but it definitely helps a lot to see these tasks. I'd really like to see some more members creating them so I can know what's on their mind, and I fully encourage you to do so as well as you come up with things you'd like to do. And it doesn't even have to be directly related with the project. Like this lighter green here is OGS development. So if it's something that you just have a question with, probably Discord's a better place. But this post what I made videos is something I made to help people be mindful that we need to be sharing this kind of thing. I shared this one on our Facebook celebrating a member contribution. But if you make a cool level or a cool feature or something, share it in our groups, share it on your timeline. it would be a great way to promote a project that you are working on that will be released with your name in the credits. So it should be something. I mean, of course, don't have to do it at all, but it should be something I would think that you'd want to celebrate and show off. And definitely as well, if you are doing this to build a portfolio, to have something to put on your resume, if you're looking for a job, those recruiters, those hiring managers will check your profile. They'll see, oh, this person's active on Facebook. He's positive. He's sharing work he's doing. He's interacting with people, and communicates well, works well with others. Like with this Trello project management tool, saying that you have agile development experience is a huge thing. I see it constantly in applications. So it's one of the reasons we're doing it. This community is more about making games. It's about learning how to make games better and work with each other and get ourselves jobs in the industry if that's what we want. If making them independently for free for fun is the goal, that's 100% awesome too, and that would be a great reason to show that this is optional. Doesn't have to follow it at all, but it does help everyone involved who is using it.